We activated my window, see what I can do going forward, but I feel pretty good.
Buffalo Bills opened DaQuan Jones's 21-day practice window at a perfect time since the injury to Jordan Phillips' wrist. Jones tore his pec after having a great start to this season in London against the Jaguars, actually making a great tackle for loss here. It's no coincidence the Buffalo Bills with DaQuan Jones in the lineup were 3-1.
I have faith in our D-line room, and I love putting him forward as a player and as a human being. I think he's a special player. And having the opportunity to go out there and play, I think it's going to do wonders for him and for this team. I don't feel pressure at all just because of, the guys I know we have in that room.
He chalked up 10 total tackles, 2.5 sacks, and again, the only loss coming against the New York Jets week 1 on a punt return by our special teams. Sean McDermott didn't have an opportunity to even get our defense out there in overtime. The Bills were forced to supplement the loss of DaQuan Jones with signing of Linval Joseph, but that didn't happen until weeks and weeks later. Ultimately, the same week that DaQuan Jones went down was when Eli Anku was poached off our practice squad. So there was definitely a big time hole there missing. Proof is there that this defensive line was not quite the same without DaQuan Jones. And we all know Von Miller wasn't even on the field yet. You could see the first 4 games of the season with DaQuan Jones. These are Ed Oliver's stats. Ed Oliver was balling out of control. Ed Oliver in the first 4 weeks of the season with DaQuan Jones had 15 total tackles and 3 total sacks. He has 6.5 sacks on this season. Roughly half of his sacks came the first 4 weeks, 4 games of this season with DaQuan Jones. Even Leonard Floyd, the first 4 games of the season with DaQuan Jones, had 10 total tackles, and the total amount of sacks was 3.5. 27% of the sacks for Leonard Floyd this season came within the first 4 weeks of the season. I know Jordan Phillips is definitely a big loss. He's definitely been contributing to this team, and we know that DaQuan Jones, the 21-day practice window has just opened, and per his comments, he even stated that the strength right now isn't a problem.
Really, just trusting and overexposing to how I heard it. I don't think power really be an issue. It's just kind of just comfort and making those weird movements, not like really straight ahead stuff.
Like his initial shock value is going to be fine with his pec. It's just those extracurricular moves, diving for the ball carrier or reaching out, trying to grab. It's those extra moves. He doesn't really know how the pec is going to handle it. Even Jones admitted that he doesn't want to rush back on that field.
Remind myself that, I don't want to push and come back too early and re-injure or do something, stupid.
But when you look at what the Buffalo Bills season presents here, going against the LA Chargers, without Justin Herbert, without a head coach or GM, this should definitely be an easier game for the Bills. The New England Patriots and Bill Belichick rumored to be leaving at the end of this season or traded. Ramondre Stevenson with a high ankle sprain. J.C. Jackson was just placed on IR. This should be somewhat of an easier game for the Buffalo Bills. Then the week preparing for the Miami Dolphins, which would be roughly 21 days, should get DaQuan Jones ready for the most important game of the season, going against the Miami Dolphins, who we all know is 1 game ahead of us in this playoff race, and all they have to do is drop one of their next 2 against the Dallas Cowboys or Baltimore Ravens, and then the Bills beat them in Week 18. We win the AFC East, which will solidify ourselves in the playoffs. Dawson Knox underwent wrist surgery after the New England Patriots game on October 22nd. He did not return until December 10th. Roughly 6 weeks he was out. And yes, Dawson Knox missed 6 weeks undergoing wrist surgery. Will Jordan Phillips miss the same amount of time of 6 weeks? We really don't know. He could very well come back sooner. Keep in mind, as a tight end, with your wrist, you're catching the football. You're doing a lot with that wrist. Now, it definitely doesn't help a defensive lineman or defensive tackle having a hurt wrist, but we've seen multiple players on defense play with casts, play with bandages, or not really having full access to their hand or wrist or arm, whatever it is. The proof is there that Jordan Phillips could definitely come back sooner and contribute to this Buffalo Bills team. But it really has opened the door for guys like Poona Ford, Eli Anku, as well as DaQuan Jones to come back for this 21-day window and contribute big time. Linval Joseph and DaQuan Jones on the field together at the same time? Are you kidding me right now? This is looking like a huge iced out snowbank that is going to be impossible to move. And the facts are that DaQuan Jones is practicing. We always talk about iron sharpening iron, preparing our offense. Buffalo Bills offensive line has been dominant in recent weeks, and one of which against the Dallas Cowboys. I think Connor McGovern, as I stated in previous videos, had a lot of insight to the Dallas Cowboys offense as well as their defense. So we need to make sure that the offensive line and their run blocking is going to continue. Now, we've seen Deion Dawkins and this Buffalo Bills offensive line snowplow guys out of the way, and I think that could definitely continue here, especially with DaQuan Jones coming back and having iron sharpen iron. Linval Joseph and DaQuan Jones, some big-time run-stuffing defensive tackles, are definitely going to present some things for this Buffalo Bills offensive line in practice and prepare us for the playoffs. And we all know what having a prolific defensive line does for the back end of this defense, especially when teams are trying to pass it against us. These guys are not only great at stopping the run, but they're great at collapsing the pocket and flushing quarterbacks to the outside, allowing guys like Von Miller, Greg Rousseau, AJ Epinesa, and everyone else to eat up those sacks. Buffalo Bills' philosophy is to run up that score offensively to get up by multiple possessions in that game to take away the run. And now that we have a great run-stuffing defense with DaQuan Jones, Linval Joseph, and everyone else on this team, even Eric Washington hyping up Tyrell Dotson, saying that he's been so fit in his run support and has really been dominant in the run support. Plus, schematically, with Sean McDermott seeing our base defense out there with Balin, Spector, Dotson, and also Bernard, the Buffalo Bills have proved that we could stop the run. And offensively, with James Cook, Ty Johnson, and Latavius Murray, Josh Allen too, with this offensive line, we have proved that we could run the football. We're not only a dual-purpose offense, we are officially a dual-purpose defense with a great defensive line leading the NFL in total sacks. That is helping the back end of this defense. It's helping supplement the losses of Trey White. Obviously, we have Rasul Douglas there, Christian Benford getting an interception this past week and a forced fumble the week before that, but also maybe the deficiencies that we have in coverage with Dotson, with Balin Spector. The Bills aren't forced to have a Dorian Williams out there, a rookie, trying to cover things. The loss of Micah Hyde last week and having Taylor Rapp out there, Cam Lewis as well, contributing to a dime defensive look. The Buffalo Bills have figured things out. We have answers to all of our problems, and DaQuan Jones coming back is that cherry on top. But I want to hear from you. How hyped are you about DaQuan Jones coming back to the Buffalo Bills? What do you think DaQuan Jones and Linval Joseph is going to look like here? And man, once we get Jordan Phillips back, I think this is going to be a more dominant overall defense than we've ever seen all season long. Plus, with Von Miller trending up, everyone else trending up, everyone practicing, yesterday's practice is absolutely huge news. I appreciate you guys all so much. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe for future content, releasing videos each and every single day. Also, check the link in the description, the Buffalo Fan Shop, the Buffalo Chicken Wing merch. We have this style, we have a Zumba style, we have small through 5XL with free shipping, all different colors as well too. But you guys are absolutely the best. The roadmap to the playoffs has started, and I believe we are getting in. Go Bills.